Vicky. So thank you so much for inviting me here in this event. And happy 5th Media Literacy Weeks. I'm so honored to be part of your event and these weeks. We had our 10th year of Media Literacy Weeks, so just 1 week in Finland in February. And I'm so happy that Croatia has this tradition too, and that we are cooperating. We are so happy about this. So first, let me again introduce myself. I am Julia Alajärvi. I'm working as a senior advisor in National Audiovisual Institute, and I will call it KAVI, like we call it in Finland in this presentation. So we are a governmental organization. We work in the state under the Ministry of Education and Culture. KAVI is our one obligation is to promote media literacy and to develop media education. A couple of things here, maybe Anna told, this presentation will be available for you later, and it contains some links. Anna will share at least some of them, and I have asked Anna to give certain of you so you can take part also to my presentation. And then I had some kind of instructions about the chat, but Anna has already told you something, so I won't tell you anything that differs from Anna's what Anna told you. So we don't have any tips for you that go cross. So in this presentation, I will tell you about Finnish media education for small children and give you one more specific example about material of media and emotions. I will give you examples. What is media education in our perspective, how we see it, what are the themes in there, and what kind of media education Finnish early childhood education and care and pre-primary school has. In addition to media and emotions, the material, I will give you some practical tips and other ideas in the end of the presentation. So that the event wouldn't be only me talking, I will ask you to use Mentimeter today. I don't know if you have used it already. Perhaps it's new for some of you or most of you. I hope it works for you, but if it doesn't, don't take pressure. Just take it easy, have a little break when we use it, and watch what happens in the screen. So this part is a little bit nervous for me because it's always something that is technique. How does it work? But you can, like I said, you don't have to worry if it doesn't work. I will now share my screen. I will hope Anna can share you the link or the go. So I will ask you to go to menti.com and enter the code you can see here, or which Anna will put to the chat, or just use the direct link. And I have their first question for you. I am hoping for you to get answers. And an icebreaker question, at least in Finland, we like these icebreaker questions. So I can see here how many of you have answered. And what is the weather like there where you are? I know you are from different parts of Croatia, and so it's kind of what's there. I can tell it. I would answer could be better. It's like +6 and partly cloudy and a little windy, but not that. It's you are way ahead in springtime, I know. So we can just see. It looks like the weather is. Some part is wonderful, great, some parts it could be better, and no one is complaining about weather.
We have answers in chat, so they say it's cloudy, it was raining in the morning.
Yeah.
In Zagreb it is also a bit cloudy, but sun is coming through.
Yeah, but it's like sometimes cloudy can be good if you don't want it to be very hot during the summertime, if it has been very hot, or then actually we need rain here a lot So then things could like green a bit. So rain would be I would be very happy if it would be raining. So thank you for this question. And if it doesn't work for you, don't worry. You can answer when it works, and maybe you can get on board a little bit later. But I have the next question for you. You can answer, and then you can switch when you want to the next question. So I would like to know a little bit about you. So I kind of sketch here some ideas where you could be working. So I hope this could be the ones. So are you working directly with the children, not directly in the administration if you're a principal or some other sort of person, or just in another position that doesn't click, or in whatever. So I will know a bit more about you. And I'm going to drink a little bit of water during this presentation, maybe a little bit more than usually, because I have a sore throat, and I have also papers here, handkerchiefs, so I can use them. I have a little bit of cold this past weekend. Yeah, I can see it works a little bit better. There's a little bit more answers than at the last question. So yeah, still coming through. I'm going to sip water. Great, you can still answer. I will have these. I will have these answers later on. It will stay there. Yeah, thank you so much. And yes, we have now moved back to here. You can you can share your answers, or you can just come back here to the main presentation, and we will get back to the Mentimeter, and you can try that later. But thank you for the first two answers. I will first tell you a little bit about a terminology what I'm using here today. This is because in different countries we use different words concerning children, young people, and institutions. So when I use the phrase early childhood education and care, I refer to words like kindergarten or daycare services aimed for families and children under the age of 6. They are offered by the municipality or the private sector here in Finland. And pre-primary school would be in the United States, the kindergarten, and it refers to the compulsory education starting in the age of 6. And I think you have this system in Croatia too. It's quite similar, I think, like in Finland. And basic education here consists of grades 1 to 9. It's the compulsory education starting at the age of 7 in Finland. And here I have mentioned municipality, the word we use when we refer to city or other administrative area in the country. And in Finland we have 309 municipalities at the moment and 5.5 million citizens, just in context for you. And if there's something happening with my voice or anything, technical issues, just you can, Anna can tell me, but I'm going to answer questions later in the session, so I will keep in time. And you can write it in the Q&A or in the chat. First, we will see, because we are talking about media education, so what I mean by it. So that's also a kind of a context and how in Finland we see this when it comes to children and young people, especially small children. So when we live in a mediated and digitalized world, new literacies like media literacy and information and communication technology are essential competencies for all citizens. So media literacy includes competencies such as how to evaluate media, act in the media environments, and to produce your own media. Good media literacy skills help the individual to make better choices and benefit for the new technology and communications. Ultimately, good media literacy skills promote democracy, peace and sound economy. So they are, it's not a small thing at all. And media education is a way to help people be more media literate. It is teaching, guiding, training, information sharing, and making things together. Media education should always be goal-oriented, so the purpose comes first and the means should come second. Media education should be directed to everyone living in the mediated culture. Today, it means that almost everyone who has access to some sort of media. This includes also small children, while children are engaging with media from a very young age. And supporting both families and early childhood education institutions is important in the path gaining these important civic skills. Sometimes adults can think that media education is not needed because children already use so much media, but this is exactly why media education is needed, actually. I don't know if you have heard of a phrase, digital native, or the idea that children can be skillful media users by themselves. Children may learn fast to use digital technology, such as tablets, mobile phones, or they can master games and digital toys very well, but that is only a small part of the competencies we need to be media literate. We adults have the responsibility to teach and guide children how to navigate in life, and this includes also operating in the mediated culture. So all in all, we see it that there are no digital natives after all. I will give a couple of summaries. This is the first one. So media education is goal-oriented way to promote media literacy. Ultimately, it benefits both the individual and the society. And media education is teaching, guiding, sharing information, and doing things together. It is aimed also for the small children. No one is media literate naturally. Okay, this will bring us to the next section, which is themes in media education. And I would like to start again in the Mentimeter. So I would like to have some more feedback from you. So please go to the menti.com. This would be easiest to do on mobile phone. I forgot to tell you. So you can see the presentation at the same time, or you can do it on laptop or computer, how else, but I would maybe would be easier to use by your mobile phone if you have a smartphone. So I will share again. We will go to the next one. So I would like you to write one important theme in media education. I would prefer if you would write it in English, but you can also write it in Croatian if you find difficult to find the word, because this I will have this, and it's most important is that you will see what it is. So if you write a word there, and it will thank you. Great. That's the first one. Just be very yeah, you got the idea. So yeah, we will see here. And if there are similar words, the one word just will get bigger. It's important to see. I will have this later on for me to share. I will also share you this presentation. Yeah, just keep it coming. I think you had, if you have the possibility to write another, you can do it, but at least I hope you can give me one. Yeah, as we can see, safety is there in the middle. So it's more than 1 or 3 answers. Yes. Yeah, there are still few coming. We have a little bit time to, because they still are entering. As you can see, there are lots of lots of themes here, and actually there's only safety, security, bullying, information, critical thinking that are like a little bit bigger. There's danger photography here, so that like one thing would be like hugely bigger than the other. So this is the reality. You can still enter your answers there. It will stay until I change the slide to another, so you can still put it there if you want to, and I will continue in my presentation. I will just see that now it's there. Great. So thanks again. I wanted to see what kind of content are important to you, and there were a lot. Yeah, like I said, it's the reality, because they are important, and there really is no right answer. What is the most important thing, the more important theme than other? We could see there was the security aspect and safety, and yeah, naturally it depends on the age what is the most important thing. And when we are talking about small children, naturally the safety issues are, so we want to protect our children when they are small, of course, later on. So it's just natural that is a very important thing. But when there are no right or wrong answers, what is the most important theme, like in your work when you are doing? One thing can be like very important today, and then next year it can be another theme. And it depends what happens in the world also. That must be, like, we are living in a culture that, and in the world that changes, and different things are more important in different days. But one thing doesn't change, and that is that many of these themes can be taught also for the smaller children, of course, age appropriately, naturally. And I will show you now one possible way to think about the themes in media education. This is how we have started to think about, like in a year or so. What I'm going to show you is based on a Finnish program called New Literacies. And my institution, KAVI, is responsible for the media literacy part of the program. And there's also ICT skills and programming are like two aspects, two of the three aspects. So media literacy, programming, and ICT skills. So I'm going to show you what kind of themes we have and how we have labeled them in our model. So according to this new literacy program, we see that we can divide media literacy in three major areas, which are interpretation and evaluation of media, media production, and operating in the media environment. So the safety and security issues would be mostly in the operating in the media environment section. So each of these major areas include 4 smaller competencies, and altogether there are 12 competencies, and we have descriptions for them, so what to do. And we believe that by dividing the competencies in 3 major areas, it helps better see the whole picture of media literacy. And the new literacy program aims to help teachers better execute the ideas that are written in the national core curriculum. The program also promotes better equality among children. So I will just take a closer look what are the themes inside these 3 major areas. So if we first look at the area of interpretation and evaluation, there was some people write about critical thinking skills. It could be here. So interpretation of media contents is one. Understanding the influence of media, It's very important. Media as a source of information and personal use of media are in the first major area. Then creative expression in the media production section, involvement, communication of information, and own media production. This is the second major area and what it includes. And then thirdly, operating in the media environment, we have the safety issues, responsible use of media, well-being, and good interaction. So each of these 12 competencies have descriptions for different educational level. That means it is said quite clearly in the texts of this program that what should be done with the children to reach these competencies, these 12 competencies or the areas. And in early childhood education and care and in pre-primary school, the target areas we are talking today, the descriptions are aimed for the teachers and carers, what they should do with children. And in basic education, it's aimed directly for the pupils. What should pupil know, or what should she or he, what should they do? So I want to visualize what I mean with all of these, and unfortunately in English I only have this Excel sheet. I love Excel sheets, so but maybe you don't. But I will explain the contents for you. I will give. This is only one part, so we're going to a different kind of sessions also. But I have now hopefully a laser point. Yeah, I can see it there. So in the upper left side, you will see one of the three major areas: interpretation and evaluation of media. The other ones are media production and operating in the media environment. These three ones I told you a little bit earlier. Here you can see a sub area. There were 4 for each 3 major areas. And then we have the actual description. If you have only a small screen, it can be difficult to see them, but this wasn't just to actually show you the text, but just show how we label the themes, how we think about the themes in media literacy. And as you can see in here, early childhood education and care, so children under the age of 6, in this interpretation of media context, we have 2 descriptions. When we go a little bit older children, pre-primary education, we have 3 descriptions, how to achieve this goal. And they are called good pedagogical activities. So something that the pedagogists should do with children. And this is the whole interpretation and evaluation area in total for all levels of education. And when we go to the basic education area, you can see there are lots of changes. Like the descriptions are called good competence, not pedagogical activities. And also you can see there's this advanced competence area, and then there are lots of other, like more of these descriptions. Though this is just to show you that you start with small steps with smaller children, and they can be quite simple ideas, simple activities you can do. And when the children get older, they go to primary school, they go to basic education, then there's a lot more time, and it's different. So you have more, but when you start with the smaller things, so it's easier to, when you are older, to continue with more advanced competence issues. But little by little, you will get much more media literacy if you have this kind of plan. So with this new literacy program, there was lots of new ideas how to media education, how to do media education according to the curricula. So this is why I have created a lots of materials for the teachers. So we have like these guidebooks for different stages of children, different age children. And we have, and in here, everything is like told, what should you do to gain this, and what does this description mean? And also we have some video tutorials and webinars for teachers and videos, info videos, like general videos about what we are trying to gain here. So all in all, there is no right answer. What topic is the more important theme in media education, media literacy? It varies a lot, but it's good to know that there are lots of, and what is just at the moment, this is the most important thing in my job with these children I am teaching, or I am responsible for. And children will need several competencies when it comes to media literacy. And in this Finnish model of new literacies, media education has 3 major theme areas, and each has 4 competencies. And these competencies have several descriptions how to act to improve media literacy. The aim of the model is to improve literacy, media literacy, and ensure equality of the children. So one aspect is also that differences between like daycare centers and schools should be a bit smaller than it is today, also in Finland. And each competence will grow cumulatively. So even with small steps, it will make a difference. And throughout the years, the children are in the education system. And this is based on Finnish curricula, so different national core curriculums, and it aims to help teachers understand the curriculum better, not to bring extra work. So we are now in the middle part of our presentation, and let's take a look at media education in early childhood education and care and in pre-primary school in Finland. So you will have some context before we move to the actual example material I will present you. So in early childhood education and care, and I can call it also ESEC here, it's mostly a subjective right of the child, and it is affordable, and families pay according to their incomes. And in the Finnish ESEC, it's a combination of education, care, and teaching with the emphasis on pedagogy. And around 80% of children under the age of 6 take part in early childhood education and care at some part of their lives. The ideal situation in the daycare, kindergarten, early childhood education and care is that there is at least one pedagogue or teacher in each child group. Actually, the law will say soon that there should be 2 pedagogues in the group, in one group of children. And the early childhood education and care has its own national core curriculum, and then the localized versions of the curriculum will be made in the municipalities or districts, or even in one kindergarten, maybe their own curriculum. And this core curriculum is a national norm. It should be followed, but there is a lot of independence how to execute the things set in the curriculum. And okay, sorry, I have the laser pointer here, so I'm just going to take it away. So in Finland, our curriculum includes 5 learning areas and 5 transversal competencies. And media literacy and media education are situated especially in the area called Me and My Community, and under the transversal competence of multiliteracy and ICT competence. So we use the word multiliteracy where media literacy is situated. And when we look at pre-primary school, it is compulsory for all children at the age of 6, and it is mostly similar. It has mostly similar learning areas than in the ECEC. There's also similarity when it comes to media education in pre-primary school than it is in EC. The pedagogical models are very similar, and still in pre-primary school, the learning is very playful. But still, it's a transition to the basic education and to the primary school. So that's different when it comes to the EC. So core curricula, they are binding, but in reality, in Finland also there is still a lot to do integrating media education into kindergartens, in pre-primary school. Teachers also here, they may find that media education is extra and not that important. It's understandable because there is so much to do and only a limited time of resources, limited amount of resources like time and employees. So, and also we have noticed that teachers can also think that they are not suited to be like media educators if they don't know how to use the new technology or media. I would again ask you to join the menti.com and enter, or if you are already there, I will change my slide and ask you the next question. Here it is. So I would like to know, how often do you handle media literacy with your children? And I can see already some dots there. We can see some percentage. It's interesting to see. And just if you're just hearing the first time, you haven't really thought about media literacy or media education, just answer not yet at all, because it's I'm happy you are here. And if I can have any kind of help, assistance, new ideas, but we can see very these three sections, yeah. Often, sometimes, yeah. I think this could look very similar in Finland as well. So I think our situations are quite similar. So that sometimes, yes, I'm happy that you are finding this an important topic, that you at least have sometimes, and so many are doing often and not very often. It's totally understandable, and also that you're just starting to think about this. That's also very typical here in Finland. So yeah, we have, I can see there are not many dots coming, but yeah, thanks. This is very interesting idea. Yeah, you can still, that's good. Then I am switching. I have another question for you. I hope it is here. You can still, if you want to answer this. I talked a little bit about our challenges in Finland. There are lots of more, but those were the like couple of. So I would like you to answer, what is the biggest challenge in media education in your work personally? What do you find? You can just choose one. I think maybe I have one or two options there, but at least what is the one? Too little time, too little information, resources. It's maybe the resources and maybe a combination of a couple of, or too little own skills, or you're not getting so much support from the manager. They are thinking that media education is not so important. If you have any other reasons you can think of, or if you think that there are no challenges, which I think is possible also, yeah, none of these, or it could be something else. Yeah, too little resources. It may be combining this too little time, but yeah, resources, I think it's like combination of things like money and how you have what kind of situation you have in your work. Yeah, can use. Okay, now it seems that it stopped. You can still continue, and I will have the answers later because I'm not going to change that. Oh yeah. Okay, so this was very interesting to see what you found, and I hope I described it good because there's no other reason there. I can see. Yeah, thank you so much for your input. That was very interesting to see, and I hope I can do this with in Finland also. Have these me or my colleagues, we can make these questions in Finland, and we will see what they will answer there. So I would say that all worries must be listened. They are all important, and when it comes to small children, there is so much to do and take care in a short time. So there always should be more resources and we all for many things. That's for sure. There was also raised a question about, or the worry about not being too skillful enough. So I would like to say that being a media educator does not mean you need to be great at technology itself. You can learn in small steps and together with the kids. And I will also show you soon something where you even don't need new technology. Then if you have the technology in your work and in your kindergarten or wherever you work, I think it's more important to think about the content rather than the devices. That's something also you should think about, and I will think when I'm planning my work. And media education, it needs planning, but it can be easily integrated in some daily actions. So let's put these things together. So Finnish easy is a combination of education, care, teaching. It is quite affordable. So 80% of Finnish children take part in media literacy during their life, and media literacy is integrated in a couple of learning areas, but there is still quite a small role in the whole picture of easy and pre-primary school. And educators may feel education an extra task or something they cannot teach. And like you already said, the resources are something that in the daycare center, in the kindergarten, resources, there should always be more resources, that's for sure. So everyone can be a media educator. It needs a bit of planning and a curious mind, and lack of new technology does not mean you cannot teach media. And when you have the new technology, I hope you would make the content more important than the device, but of course the devices and like tablets and how to use media and so on. It's also an important thing when it comes to skills and safety issues as well. So next I will give you a more concrete example what media education could be with smaller children. Just a general view first. Media literacy is still quite a new theme in education with these words, media education or media literacy. A lot of groundwork needs to be done. We have found that teachers and administrators need more information and training. But there are a lot of materials available for media education for small children, both in Finland and in Croatia too. And materials can be used in total if they are smaller, or you can just pick one or two that suits you best and integrate them in everyday activities with the children. In 2016, we created a media education material about media and emotions. We call it the Explorers of the Media Map, while there is a quest and there is also a map in this material. This version is aimed for children under the age of 8. So this means that it is most useful in early childhood education and in pre-primary schools. But we have also versions of this for older children and young people. The material combines media literacy and emotional education, and it has info text and activities on, both of them also about emotions with an emotional education with smaller children. And tasks are very simple and do not need a lot to prepare, as you will notice very soon. But a happy thing is that you may also already be, you already may know this, this material because it was translated and localized in Croatia just a little while ago. And I think Anna will now share you the link. You can just see it now or later. The purpose of the material is to develop media skills and learn to recognize and name emotions media can bring to each one of us. And it will also help to recognize the ways media can use to influence people, how media is influencing us. Also you can do this, like feel how media influences you by making own content. And this was a time when we made this material when hate speech was like a very big thing. It still is, but it was like the first years of when we got the idea that how big of a problem hate speech is. So this was one way to like tackle this idea age appropriately, and by starting very young working with these issues. So in the material, we have 4 chapters: emotions in a movement, what is media, where are the emotions in media, and do it yourself. When it comes to these 3 major competence areas I showed you earlier, so this will contribute to all of them. There is a backstory with 2 child characters who venture in the space and find tasks. In Croatian, they are called Pavo and Vika. And there are tasks also without digital technology. So when we were doing this, we tried to think about the like what it is to do media education with small children in kindergarten or daycare centers. So here you can see the layout. This chapter here is about the media, and there is info text, the backstory you can see here in the yellow, and tasks to do together with the children. I will now show you 4 tasks you will find in this material, just to give you some idea what you could do with the children. And these are abbreviations from the actual material. And these each can quite easily be varied according to the age or competence level of the children. So this task, Images Tell Story, is from the chapter 1. The aim is to get to name and know emotions by looking for facial expressions using media. The idea is to cut together pictures of human faces from magazines or newspapers. Then find different emotions in the pictures and put them in the groups. That's one option. And in the end, you can either discuss with children what they found, or ask children to mimic the emotions they found in the pictures. And there are also different variations, 3 actually, explained in the material you can choose from. So very simple, using already media, but naming emotions. And you can do this once, and then in the autumn and maybe in the springtime again, and see if there's some kind of evolvement or something has gone, there's something that happened with the children that they can name a little bit better the emotions. You can vary it how you like it. Then the next task, example task, is about the media. The aim of the task is to get to know media by a coloring assignment, very simple. In the info text, it is explained that media is many things. Here are the more concrete things. And when coloring, you can discuss about the names of the objects and if children have used some of these media objectives before. And there are example questions for broader discussion in the material. And you can also expand the task by searching for media devices and objectives in the daycare center or in the school. That can be one task. Moving on. So the third example task aims to combine media and emotions and start to understand how emotions in media can affect you. So we're starting with the music task, listening to a music track that is linked in the material. And the link wasn't working a couple of days ago, but it works now. Or you can just choose your own music with different atmospheres, but it actually works quite well with this link. Let the children listen to the music and move while they listen. Afterwards, you can discuss which kind of emotions did they find in the music and how they felt them in their bodies. So this is an exercise before talking more about emotions like scary feelings, some TV shows or movies can cause for children. So there's that kind of question also. So this is kind of something you can start before going to a little bit deeper. And lastly, there's a step to start making your own content and also practice the rules about making and sharing media. In this task, children will photograph each other, expressing different emotions. So before starting, you can practice how to use the camera, the basics of the picture taking, and how to frame the picture. This can be the first preparations. And when you have taken the pictures, you can take a look at them, enjoy what you see, have a laugh, or just enjoy you have done it, and then discuss about the rules of photographing. So this can be the starting point for how to behave in media and what kind of emotions, and you can have your rules also for the group, that when you take pictures, how you take, where you share, age appropriately in the different versions. When it comes to older children, we have these materials in Finland, so it's more complicated and the tasks are a little bit more difficult for the children when it comes to these kind of tasks. So all in all, tasks of this material are simple. They are easy to carry out, also without lots of devices. There is a continuous story, and the tasks will help the characters move in the quest. And tasks can be modified. For example, instead of just looking for emotions from the newspapers, I told in the first task, you can someday take magazines, newspapers, and look for like different professions, different jobs in the magazines or newspapers. That can be quite easy modification. And also you can see Babo and Vika there, so cute, and the backstory there. I hope it's also something that you would enjoy reading to children, and they would engage in the story and be happy to help the characters. Quite fast it was to go through, but time is limited, and I have only like 5 minutes here. So let's move to the final part of the presentation. I will give you some other useful tips and materials. This material may be familiar for some of you. So in English, Children and Media. It is originally produced by us in KAVI, and it has been localized and translated into Croatian context, and it has been disseminated quite a lot, I guess, in Croatia. So the guide is aimed for parents and other caretakers at home, and it can be distributed to the parents by the teachers. if there's something media related that parents are worried, you can talk, or you can also share this material with them if they will find something helpful from this guide. It covers themes like age restrictions and hobby, social media, privacy online. And here the link is in the material in PDF in the Croatian version if you still haven't seen this. And here are some materials like this media in the motions we have done and translated into English. There are some subjects if you are interested to see and have like ideas for your own work. So we have about empathy skills. Is this message in the bottle? Then we have science and information, searching for reliable information. So this is really about critical thinking and science-based thinking. And data use in the internet is this digital gold miners, and there's the word big data there. So all of these materials include also info texts about these areas, and all these materials can be also used with the small children. So we have done sections that are for smaller children also. So check this out if you are interested. And then I would like to give you some like kind of a gift, I hope. These illustrations you have seen in this presentation, maybe you like it, maybe you don't, but anyway, they are also available for you for free if you want to use it in your own presentations, or if you want to print like a poster to your wall, or just when you give some handouts to or some papers to parents, if you want to put these, or just children to have them. They are free to use. These ones are designed by a young Finnish illustrator, Rosa Hepomäki. And then we also have another set of pictures by an illustrator called Janne Kukkonen. Altogether, we have like 40 of these free pictures you can use in high resolution also, and smaller one. And there are quite a lot of pictures you can about small children and media use. So like in a year or like every 2 years, we ask for some designer or illustrator to design some media related pictures for us. So if you are interested about these, so they are on CC4 license, just mention mediataitokoulu.fi, which is our media literacy school where you can find these. So free to use any way you like. So and when we put some more, so you can also have them. So they are for there, not just Finnish to use in Finland, but everywhere. Everyone can use those. And now, for the last time, I would like you to join me in Menti. I will just give you one last task. You can leave your greetings here. You can leave it in English or in Croatia. Just, I would like to say thank you with this gift I have here. And if you have any can be just short or just whatever you find, I will have them here. And with this note, I really want to thank you that you have listened today, and hope you will get some ideas or something, and because Anna will show some materials you have, so together with them, if you have any ideas, I would be very happy to have your feedback also, or to if there's something you would have listened more, so when we are doing these presentations later on, we can just evolve and have some more ideas. I will read them every one of these after the presentation. You can still write them. They will be there. And I will now end my presentation with these notes, and then if we have time for some questions,
Thank you, Julia, very much. Like others said already, for sharing your experience with us. We have 2 questions in the Q&A session, so I will read them to you. Do you filter the newspaper's content, removing violent scenes like war protests, etc.?
Yes, definitely. When you are giving children newspapers and magazines, you should check them first. It can be a little bit work, but actually it's quite fast, especially if you're with children who don't read yet. Of course, children can be reading or not, but it's so fast, the pace when you just look for the photos. I don't think you have to worry about the texts, but just the pictures. So just take out the non-appropriate pictures, because if you give the newspaper of today or yesterday or the past 2 months, it can be very disturbing. So yes, and the magazines of like a hobby magazines or something would be a little bit better, or like lifestyle things or so, that doesn't cover the like current situations, but still what you find that is too inappropriate or provocative, you should take away. And it doesn't take, you can quite easily just evaluate what is the time, or what is the thing, that picture you don't want the children to see.
Okay, and the other question is, what is your experience with tackling social platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, and so on?
Yeah, well, I will answer it like this. Well, but now when we are doing the new literacies program, and we have the guides for the teachers, and they are asking us, we are now renewing, making the final edition for the teachers, what to do with children with these competencies I showed you. And the one question is, should we have social media in there, like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube? Should we mention it? Should we have a task for children? Like, now we are talking about children from 7, 8, 9 years, so the question hasn't aroused with the smaller children. But we think that yes, with this, like in primary school, in basic education, we should talk about and tackle the issues like social media and the most important platforms, because it is important. We cannot think that, okay, it's Instagram, is Facebook, they are TikTok, there's the age limit of 13 in Finland. In some countries it may be 16, but children are still using those. So we have to take the responsibility to tell them about. And we have thought that it's a little bit similar thing that with sex and porn with older kids, it's K-18, so it's X-rated. But if we don't talk about it with young people, so it's not like the reality. So it's also same with the social media with smaller children. In kindergarten, in daycare, I wouldn't maybe have the task how to use like different kind of social media platforms. But if there are questions from the children, like from YouTube, I'm watching YouTube a lot, YouTube Kids or just similar YouTube, so you can talk about, and it's very natural. Many children use YouTube, who are under like 6, and so there is a lot of in the children and media guidebook, there is a section about these things. And I think the most important thing is not to shame children if they have like watched TikTok or anything, just to be aware that there may be a lot of content that is not for the children, but not to shame them that they are using if they are not age appropriate. But it's a huge question. I could talk about it many minutes or hours, but just you cannot ignore it. But we are not still with smaller children. We are talking about different things than social media, but it can be talkable. It should be if it erases.
Thank you. I believe that also children in Croatia, like in Finland, are watching YouTube for cartoons, gameplays, the kind of...
My child watches Metro. We have a Metro here in Helsinki. So he watches the videos about metros and the escalators and elevators. He's 5.5. So, and I can see what he watches. So I know what's there. I can see the history. So everything's okay. But he's watching YouTube.
I believe that maybe this is the part just to talk with children about what are they watching? Did they ever find something that disturbed them or something like that? And educate parents that they should actually be aware of what
so one thing I didn't say here, but one principal thing in media education in Finland is that about being a media educator, if you're a parent or a teacher or a nurse or whatever you are, is to be curious about the media that children are using, and to ask and to be like, I want to know what you are doing. I want to be part of it. Let's do it together. I don't have to understand your world, like what is the games and everything, what is important, but I want to be there for you. If you have any questions about any challenges and difficulties, I want to be there for you. But the children to enjoy also media and to have good experiences and play